Good morning, George.
Morning? It's evening, but that's okay.
For me, it's morning. I'm in Israel right now.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
How is it?
actually, I don't know. I got here last night, so I don't know yet.
Oh,
It
you're
should be
still,
good.
yeah, God willing. Where are you?
Yerushalayim.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky. Nice.
Lucky, lucky, very lucky.
Yeah. Okay. How are you, George?
Very good, Walter. How about yourself?
Yeah, getting better. I had a little procedure, so taking
Oh,
anyway.
that's all challenging.
Well, it's okay. I had to do it, so what can I do?
Yep.
It's just on my eyes, so it's okay. I'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm working at the VA, so I was going to try to come tonight to Ernie's, but I don't know that I can. I still have a whole bunch of work to do.
Mhm.
Uh,
Shalom Aleichem, everybody.
Hey, Ernie, how are you?
How are you?
Ernie, are you gonna do the Tzorba Bazoom tonight as well?
There is no, tonight we're having a party with the
Just
Tzorba,
a party, so there's no Tzorba.
no Tzorba.
Okay.
Come if you can. If you
What?
feel like,
No, I'm not up to coming. Esti's going to come. And
Okay.
she'll get my diploma instead of me. It's okay. She
Okay.
deserves it.
Okay. We're on Kuf Samech Zayin, 167, Amar Aleph, Amar Abaya. Hi man de boy lemachve chasimus yade beveidina. Somebody has to have his signature certified in Besdin. They have a star with signatures on it. So they have somebody come in who claims he's the aide, who signed that star, and he has to sign another signature so they can compare the signatures to certify that, yes, this is the guy that signed the star. So lolechve besof migilta. So when you give him a piece of paper to sign his signature, they can compare, he shouldn't write his signature at the bottom of the page. Dila mishkach la'acher, the concept of maslik bezuzi. Right? Somebody will take that document, write something that, I owe $1,000 to such and such person, signed John Doe. So they're giving advice. Don't write your signature on the bottom of a page with a blank page. Because somebody presents a document with a signature like that, you can't collect from land that was sold, but you can collect from a taltalin. So what you should do, you should sign on the top of a page so that nobody can fill in something above the signature. Ahu bezvina de osla kamei. It was like a tax collector. Armele nechli limar chasimis yadi dichios rabbanon machvilei marvulei. The Chacham are going to show me your signature in the future. Show me your signature now. So I know, and therefore, below Mechsa, without collecting tax from them. So I need to know your signature. So Abaya wrote his name, Achvele Beresh Megilsa. He wrote his name on the top of the page, not on the bottom, because he knew this Gemara. Hava Konagid Bey. He was the guy who wanted to forge something, kept on pulling Abaya's hand down so that the signature would be on the bottom. Aberlay, Kadam Churabonim, the Chachamim preceded you, means I learned from them not to be fooled and not to be tricked and fall into that trap. Amr Abaya. when a scribe is writing a star, and he writes numbers, plus va'ad eser, from 3 to 10, lo lichtov b'sof shita, don't write those numbers at the end of a line. Dilma mezayah v'kosa, the owner of the star will forge, and he'll add numbers to it. Instead of shalosh, he'll add yud mem, and it'll be shloshim. Now, the Yisramili, let's say you can't help it. You're writing the star, and you get to the end of the line, and you write the word shalosh. Nehedr l'dibur train plus a zini. You should repeat in the next line the same thing. I owe 3, I owe 3, I owe 3. So that sometimes the word 3 will appear in the middle of the sentence, not at the end. Following that plan, you'll never have a situation where the 3 will end up at the end of the sentence where the person can add yud mem. It's like when we write a check, we write the number and we draw a line, let's say behind it or in front of it. So forgers cannot add numbers to our check. There was a document that said somebody sold a third in an orchard. He sort of erased the bottom part of the base and extended the line down, so it made it look like a vav. So it means shlish uba pardes, which is a third of something and a whole orchard. Also kamedo abaya. So the document came in front of Abai, and he was claiming, I want a third of his assets and an orchard. My time Abaya noticed that the vav was very, it was wide, because it had started off as a base. So kafte, they sort of put him into stocks, and he confessed, and he confessed that yes, he counterfeited it. Hauda Kasav Bey Manas Ruven V'Shimin Achi, that a person bought something from Ruven Shimon Achi, which Lechura could mean Ruven Shimon, who are brothers. But Havalu Acha Dishmo Achi, there was a brother of Ruven and Shimon his name was Achi. Azul Kasav Bey Vav. So he added a Vav and said, Ruven v'Shimon ve'achi, v'shavi v'achi, as if he bought the piece of land that belonged to Achi as well. Again, the document came, also l'kamei d'abaya. My time, he noticed that the vav was sort of stuck in there tight between two words. So again, Abaya was concerned about forgery, kafte. They sort of tortured him or put him in stocks until he testified. He admitted what he did. There was a star that Rava and Ravacha Baradas were the signatures on the star. Asla Kamei Rava, so the owner of the star came in front of Rava. Amr Lei, Rava said to him, Din Chasimus Yoda Didihi. This is my signature. But Miu Kamei Ravacha Barada, Lo Chasimi Limi Olam. Ravacha Barada was older than Rava. So out of Kovid, he would have never signed his name before Ravacha Barada. And the star that was presented to him had Rava's name in front of Ravacha Barada. So I'm sure that it's counterfeit. Kafte, again, they put the guy into stocks. He admitted that it was counterfeit. So Amalei, so Rava said to this counterfeiter, Bishma Didiziaft, fine, you forged my signature. Ela de Ravacha Barada, the Rasis Yade, Ravacha Barada had Parkinson's. So because of his age, he was shaking. And the forger was able to recreate Rav Acha bar Ada's signature, it looked like it was shaky. He wanted him to know, Hechi Avdis, how did you create this signature? Omar, Anchi Yadi Mitzra, I put my hand on a rope that was tied between two fences of a river, that people are holding on to the rope. And by pulling tight on the rope sort of vibrates. Varmi Lakam Azernuka. Other people say that he balanced himself on a jug, the kosa. And when you're on a jug, you're careful not to fall off. So that was the method or the methodology, how he recreated Rav Acha bar Ada's signature with someone who has a tremor. Mishnah. Koitzvin get li yishavel pishen ishto imo. Mida Raisa, a man can give a wife a divorce without the wife participating, without him or knowing. The Chachamim changed that. But Midin Torah, so therefore a man can write again without the wife being there. Similarly, you can write a shoiver li'isha afal pi she'en ba'al ima. Now, a shoiver is a receipt that she received the get. Because remember, a woman's not divorced until it's actually placed in her hand. So once it's placed in her hand, she has a shoiver that can be certified that she received the get. And that shoiver can be written even though the husband's not with her. Uvavatche makira. The soifer has to know, if they come to a soifer to write these things, he has to know who these people are. So the soifer makes sure that there's no trickery. And who pays for the writing of a get in a shoiver? The Baal. A Baal noisen skar. The husband is financially responsible to pay for it. A borrower can have a star written by a soifer to say that he borrowed $1,000 from a certain lender. Now, we don't let a lender write a star, but if the borrower is borrowing the money, so we accept a star being written by Loiva even though the malva is not there, because he's the one who's mechayiv himself to pay back. And for the malva, it certainly is chus. You could be zoicha la'adam shaloi b'fano. But in koisen l'malva at she'lo imo. You can't write a star that documents a loan for a lender without the borrower being there. He has to be maskin. Who pays for it? Haloi v'noisen schar. The borrower's hand is on the bottom. The borrower wants the loan. So the borrower pays the cost to have the star written. Now, what about a star that documents a sale? Koisvin star lemoicher, aval bish loiker. Now, who's losing the property? The seller. So if the seller writes the star, it's not a loss for him. He wants it sold. So even though the lokech is not with him, he's mechayiv himself with the star. That's allowed. But in koisvin lokech at shemoicher imo, you can't write a star mechira for a buyer unless the moicher is there as well. Ein koisvin stari erusin in the suyin elamidashne. A star that documents kiddushin or marriage, they both have to agree that this star should be written. The chosin pays for it. Ein koisvin star arisus for kablanis. Arisus and kablanis is like sharecropping for a field. So there's an owner, and there's somebody who's going to sharecrop for 30% of the crops. Both have to be present when they write this. The kablan, the contract, the sharecropper himself, Noisen Schar, pays for the cost of writing that star. In koisvin stari birurin, the Gemara will tell us what those are. V'chomaisa bezdin, any document that a bezdin has to write, elamidash shneim, both litigants have to agree about the shtar. And a shtar biruin shneim noistin schar, they divide the cost equally, the two parties. Reb Shimon Gamliel Oimer, l'shneim koisvin, you write one of these shtar birurin for each one of them. Shnai, lezela atzmo. Each one gets to keep a copy. So the Mishnah started off by saying if you write a get for a man, even though the wife is not there, and you write a woman a shoiver, even though the man is not there, as long as the sofer knows who we're talking about. What does that mean? My bilvat shem makirin. Amrid amarav. Ulvat shem makir shem aish. He has to know the name of the person who's in front of him, beget, and the name of the person in the get. V'chein shem aisha b'shoiver. Or if they're writing a shoiver for the woman, he has to know and recognize the woman that he's writing it for. Yoiv Rav Safar v'achar Ravuna v'Ravuna bar Kinana. These Amiruim were sitting. V'yosef Abayu Gabayu, and Abayu was with them. V'yosef become a boiler. And he asked them the following question, or the following question was asked. Shema ish begit in. Shema ish alo? Wait a minute, the sofer only has to know the name of the man and not the woman? L'chora, both have to be recognized. And Shema ish b'shover in, Shema ish lo? Only one party has to be recognized when you write the receipt. V'lechesh dilma kosav gita. Maybe we should be concerned that the sofer is writing again. He knows the name of the man, but not the name of the wife. And maybe he's writing it with the name of another woman who's not his wife. He'll bring it to the wife of this other person whose name is like him, and she will be considered divorced even though it wasn't written for the husband. Or by a shoiver, zinin azla kasva, Aisha shoiver, that the woman will have a shoiver written that she received her get, and the shoiver knows her name, but not his name. And the woman instructs the shoiver to write another man's name, it's referring to another man who has the same name. And then v'yavel agaver de lav delay, she presents the shoiver to this other man. And it'll be used as a way that he won't have to pay his real wife the ksuba. Armel abai hachi amarav, shema ish beget v'uadin l'shem ha'isha, shema ish b'shoiver v'uadin l'shem ha'ish. In fact, the sofer has to recognize both parties. Well, even in that case, v'leichesh l'shnei Yosef ben Shimon hador biracha. Maybe there'll be two Yosef ben Shimons in the same city, two men with the same name. One of them will write a get. He'll bring that get to the wife of the other man. And again, we'll have the same problem. Yosef ben Shimon hador b'irachas. Interesting halacha. If the city knows that there are two men with the same name, if one of them is going to give a divorce to their wife, both people have to be in the business at the same time. Now, another question on the Mishnah, where we say you have to know the name of the man and the woman in the get. He'll go to a different city, and he'll say his name is Yosef ben Shimon. Because of Gitu Mantir Itzadeh, and he'll present a get to the wife of the other person, which is also Yosef ben Shimon, because he's got the same name. We'll have the same problem. And when you have two Yosef ben Shimons in the same city, we solve the problem. They both have to be in Bezdin. What if you go in another city? Amr Ravuna bar China nohechi Amar Rav, kol zehukshik shemo be'ir shloshim yom, ein chosh shemo. A person is known by a name in a city for 30 days. We don't worry that there's a person with his same name in the city. Well, what about Lois Chazik Mai? Let's say people don't know his name. How do we know that somebody's name is his name? Amr Abaya, Dekar Leve'oni. You call him and you see if he answers. Razvid Amar Ramah B'Ramusa Zohir. You know what? A trickster will be careful with that, so you can't rely on that. So he's got to be there for 30 days, and he has to establish a chazaka that that's his name. There was a shoiver, a receipt, that Rav Yirmiyah signed on it. A certain woman came in front of him. She said to him, Lavanavi. It wasn't me who wrote this shoiver, it was another woman who tried to take my place. And I never received my ksuba. So Rav Yirmiyah answered, Omar, Ananami Amriluhu. Those that were with me at that time when I signed, Lavi, I said, that's not this woman. Amruli, and they said to me, Meku shudakoshle ubagar lekala. You know what? She got older, her voice got thicker, and that's why, but she really is that same person. So Rav Yirmiyah had already suspected that there was fraud going on. Amr Rabbi Afagav, Amr Rabbanon. Even though normally, after a person gives testimony in Bezdin, you can't repeat it. A Talmid Chacham is not going to check out women too carefully. So we accept the fact that maybe they tricked Rav Yirmiyah. And now that he's going back on what he said, we believe him.
By the way, you just finished off on the right apropos Tzuba Midarabanan that you gave.
There you go. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why you can invite all the women tonight, because the Tzuba Merabanim are not going to be looking at the woman there tonight.
There you go.
They're going to, so you have a heter for that.
Okay. Hopefully we'll see everybody later tonight.
Okay, bye.
Ernie, can I call you?
Please call me.
Okay.